Right. Welcome to our today's on-demand class, on a special class on a very important topic, which is we all are concerned. This is online series we are doing from last many months. Solution with spiritual intelligence. Um, I and we all focus on our everyday issues in more thoughtful way, in more practical way, and try to read and try to learn the different dimensions of our life and our relationship with other people, with other objects, with our universe, with our world. Today is extremely important topic about love-hate relationships, uh, and I will cover quite a lot of content in this, and I will share with you possibly because it's a very vast topic, and when I was preparing it, I got extremely useful content as well, which address the topic as well. Uh, so possibly we can stretch this series into a series of 3-4 episodes rather than to cover all things in one episode. So if I could not cover today all things, which is I believe I will not, then we will continue to next session, next Sunday as a part 2. However, you can consider this on-demand class, on-demand session as a cognitive therapy, which is related with managing and becoming a leader by changing the mind thinking pattern, learning useful knowledge, and unlearning the bad knowledge or information, and how we can have great feelings, true happiness, and everlasting relationships as well. So you can consider my all these classes as a therapy classes or uh, intensive information which is leading to therapy in order to managing my life, your life, or people around us as well. And this is also one of online lifelong study circle we are running, which aims have a very sacred cause, and the cause is our schools, colleges, and parenting and societies have failed to teach us, to educate us, to develop us for those key things which we have to interact it. We don't have knowledge and adequate information to handle them, to lead the modern issues, to build our relationships, to managing myself, to identify myself, to analyze my own behavior and pattern, and a lot of things we are missing. So this online lifelong learning circle has aimed to improve your purpose of life, increasing quality of thoughts, managing the happiness for long lasting, living longer life, removing the fears and anxiety in the mind, making the goal settings, and making a more spiritual and more calmful life as well, which our school and colleges and university unfortunately failed to educate us. So this is a very sacred cause, and I appreciate all you guys, uh, your presence. As couple of people, they as usual are on Zoom audience for having more enhanced interactive learning experience, and some of the audience are on Facebook, and maybe many people will watch it later as a recording as well. So I appreciate and very warmly welcome all of you. My name is Maratib Ali Shad, and I will try to help you to lead the some of the key areas of in your life in this session. So let's start for today's session. is very important and very intense content I will be telling you. If you feel any offensive or if you feel any problem or because some of the information will be very transformative and very new paradigms you may have, but I believe you can take as a positive change in yourself because some of the thing I will be showing as a radical. Possibly it can bring the radical change in your life. That radical does not mean to be a negative change, but that radical change is extremely change the paradigm, the how you looking at yourself and the people around you. So let's hope for that we will uh, make this session more great and more useful. So the love-hate relationship is actually a more complex and it relate with actually the gender. It actually relate with the concept of gender, which is a modern age, a very hot area in politics, in economy, in society, in sociology, psychology, parenting, money making, market, everywhere genders impact very, very significantly. And it has been historical perspective I need to teach you. I need to give you that gender awareness has been grown uh, what we knew like 50 years ago or 100 years ago. And you will amaze that there will be no as such gender difference significantly if we go back 100 years ago, literally. Uh, but as we are progressing in our modern age and current age, the man and woman, they are increasingly huge differences. And now both have a very different institution now. Uh, Men, they name, very popular as masculine power they have, and feminine, and the ladies, women, they have feminism type of campaigns in all over the world. They proud to be feminist and they defend it. It's like they both are in the war and they both tries to edge over each other, and they say they are right and the men say we are right and we are more good and you are less good and we are, I mean, it's proper war. It's a very emotional war. And right from our beginning, when we born, after 1-2 years age, when a baby is born, the baby gender is described that she is a girl, baby girl or baby boy. And after 2-3 years, when that boy or girl start to grow, then we gave that girl and boy an awareness that you are a girl, you are a boy, and boy have this thing and girl have this thing. And when you become more big in terms of physiological wise, in terms of age wise, then there will be changes on your body and there will be changes on your mental as well. So basically our societies, we properly teach them that why you are girl, why you are a boy, and why you are a lady, why you are a man. And there is a clearly differences between not only physiological level but also on the emotional level. And then we also teach them defensive mechanism, that why you are superior to men. Women are very superior because we gave birth to men. We are mother. We proud to be mother. We are proud to be, in many other dimension. as a mother, as a sister, as a friend, as a female colleague, so we have too much influence on the men as well. At the same time, the men also learned a lot of things against or um, for other women as well, that you are physically more stronger, you are intellectually more stronger than women, uh, you have a right to rule on women, and you need to control the women, and that leads to domestic violence. That also leads to uh, mental violence, or uh, possibly is a physical violence, or in the worst scenario it leads to sexual harassment, and even it turned into rape as well, unfortunately. So these are societal forces and learning and paradigm and perception, how we are growing with each other, when right from in every society, more or less this is the problem, and these are the teaching and perception. Our parents, our schools, our media, our movies, Hollywood movies, Bollywood movies, dramas, and everywhere we learn these things, and we discuss our sexes, our gender, based on many paradigms as well, on, like I said, biological level, psychological level, sociological level. We know we with the modern views or even postmodern views. Postmodern views are extremely useful for defending the feminism, if you know what I'm talking about. And that also some socialist people or communist people, they defend feminism more than capitalist people or capitalist economies, how they treat or how they portray a woman as a beauty, as a sex symbol, as a luxury to the men type of that thing. But it doesn't necessarily, which I'm talking about. Also, we have the religious views about women. The woman, either we belongs to Christianity, Muslim, Hindu, or even atheist, we have certain views about who we are actually and what we are. Philosophical views as well, in intellectual thing perspective, that we very much know that what woman makes the woman mind, and what men makes the men mind, and that all everywhere we learn these things. Whether I'm not talking about whether we learn right thing or wrong thing, but I'm sharing here that we have lot of perspective, and all perspective are in our mind. And when we pass and actually experiencing relationship, whether I have a relationship with my mother, my father, with my siblings, with my friend, at school, in college, or later after marriage, with my husband, with my partner, with my boyfriend or girlfriend, or later with my colleague, all relationships have huge influence by these old paradigms which we learn. Now the question is, all these paradigms are reality? Oh yes, they are reality. But are they ultimate reality? All these realities leads to truth, or they are just build up, or they are just social construction? When I'm saying that social construction, it does mean that these realities have been built by not nature or not by God, but my society has built. These are called social construction. Imagine, like 50 to 100 years ago, in Europe itself, the women were not considered as a woman. Can you believe that? They were considered as a person, only a person. But later, when feminist movements start in the world, and in result of First World War and Second World War, when the millions of people died, millions of men died because men were fighting in the wars. Then all left, mostly women's left and children's left. And now they were living without male support, without men as a guardian, as a father, as a husband, as a partner at home. Now the woman needs to survive on that time, 100 or 50 years ago. And obviously now they have to work themselves. So industrial revolution was already happened, and the women in China, in Europe, in England, in India, they start to work in factories. They start to work in companies, in industries, as a labor, as a, if you see here on the screen, they were doing manually work like men used to do, because now there were no men. So in this capacity, when the decades passed, the women become more women, and with mixing of men features as well, because now she is more stronger, she's earning as well, she's looking after family, she's giving birth to children as well, and she is an integral part of the society now, and she is not at the mercy of men. So this gave to rise of feminism in somehow positive sense as well, but at the same time some negative reflections were also happening in the societies all across the world, especially in West America and developed countries or society where it used to be. Now, after World War One and Two, when men start to again come in a field, then they used to have a opposition of females, because they were also working in factories, as a labor, and in offices as well. And men start to feel superiority over the woman by inferior or by look down upon the woman ladies because of 1, 2, 3, 4 weaknesses of the woman, and launch campaign and make a global awareness that men are more strong, and females are taking their places. They need to go home. They need to just handle the kitchen, look after the kids, and born the baby. That's they meant to do. And obviously their reaction also happened, and feminism spoke more violently against men's or patriarchal, which is related the society where the men's are more ruler and strong. So these type of things were always in clash. Now all these things were social build-up. Now what I'm trying to say, and today is a worse scenario. Even in UK, we are living in a liberal society, or even America. We still have so many campaigns in UK, in London. I was where every month the feminist movement, they go in central London, they shout for the women's right. They want to push the government to increase the salaries of the ladies as compared to the men, because they are earning still very less as compared to men. They want more power in the society. They need more protection in the society, blah, blah, blah. And it's happening everywhere. And now when we talk about, even I was talking with my daughter, and she has extremely feminine, biased mindset that she is a lady, and she has her identity in contrast with the boy, and she has clearly prejudice and biasness against men, because that's the sense of identity she is growing up because of our society. The same thing is a boy is building a sense of identity, a male identity, and against woman or a lady, with lot of negative prejudice and perception against a lady, and that's its extreme. That's why in in our world, pink is a color dedicated to ladies, and blue is dedicated to boys, and it's going on. That space is creating. And when in this scenario, when you marry with the wife or with the husband, then they actually behave with each other based on the education and awareness from the society, which they actually raise their identities. And when husband and wife, after a few months of marriage, they start to grow relationship, and what happens, it leads to violence, it leads to uh, I mean destroy the rights of each other, or ignoring each other very, very badly. And now both sides are in quarrel, both sides are at war as a husband and wife. And husband and wife is another dimension of being a lady and being a man, and both try to have their own arguments. And but actually the marriage is a social contract which they are bounded each other, but it does not last longer if that clash does not resolve, or both don't unless both try to accept each other as a stronger lady or as a stronger man, and but it does not happen usually. And what happened, it start with basically with the romanticism, that that a boy or a man propose one of to each other, and she accept this proposal, and both are in relationship now, and that relationship turn into a deep intimacy, and that they decide now uh, they need to marry, they need to live longer, and also they do decide now they need to raise a family. So, and both do having sex, having a relationship physically, and they born a baby, and when they born baby, then their sense of own identity becomes problematic, that how their children will be rising as a feminist power, or as a manpower. And obviously that fight still going on, as a mom or as a dad, what they want to make uh, their children, how they want to raise, which identity, and that influence in our offices as well. And we have female colleague workers, we have male colleague workers, and we know that what's the feature and strength of a man colleague or a female colleague, and we deal accordingly, rather than we deal them just as as a person. So when I'm working with my colleague, female colleague, I always consider she is a female, not only physiological wise but also mental wise. I have sit make a set pattern about that lady. And I know that how the ladies are, and how being a man I need to deal with them. That is a clearly gap I have made, rather than just if we can deal with each other, if we can engage with each other on the level of what we call it uh, as a person. But we don't deal based on our person, just we deal with each other as a what we call it as a gender. So that goes uh, I mean into differences, and these differences becomes into clash, and now both try to possess each other. Um the lady or the man, both try to possess each other, and then obviously they don't want to leave as well. One of person feel offensive and feel abusive, and feel tortured at home, but other person is involved in other thing. So this relationship of love and hate is going on. And when it's going on, then we need to understand that it impacts psychological very negatively on both, and it leads to, if it consists it exists for longer time, it will turn into a physical violence, and that physical violence into another type of violence. So, this is the overall picture I'm sharing with you as a gender. And all gender are actually based on um, biasness, based on social construction, based on prejudice, what we have learned about each other, and that affect negatively our relationship at home, in offices, and even in the politics. So, in a parliament where the people and women and men, they work um, all together, but that impact there as well. So in this scenario, let's conclude between male and female. What are the differences actually? So that can change our paradigm about our own self identity. So male or masculine feature are related more logical in our mainstream life. Men are more are doing a step by step thinking pattern. They are more resourceful. They love computers, programming, mathematics, physics type of stuff. Uh, Men tend to be more focused what they decide usually, and they we refer them as a blue color usually. Men are little bit selfish people. Men are not people oriented. They avoid actually people usually. Uh, they believe in modeling. They want that people needs to follow them. Uh, they are more detached with the family. They are attached with family, but as compared to feminine character, they want to detach, or they don't care sometime to the family or relationships as well, because they say, or they tend to show that they are less emotional than other. uh, they try to analyze the thing with more logic rather than emotion. uh, and But some male, they have partially female brain as well, uh, and obviously they do different things in their different life, different profession they adopt. They try to take risk. They try to learn quicker things, and do lot of other manfully things as well. However, let's have a look to the female identity, the femininity. Uh, Usually, a female is a source of love, believe on empathy. Uh, she is more relationship oriented. She is more believe in unconditional love. She is very sincere in in love, in relationship. She is passionate. She is extremely emotional, and therefore she sometimes ignore or neglect logical thinking as well, which man claims that they are more logical than women because they are more emotional, and that's war and argument both do with each other. Women also want to do different things. They are very good with care. They are very good in communication. They are very good in human resources, in sales as well, in customer service. So these are the things which they have clearly distinguished as compared to men. And also many women, they also have partially male brain as well. And so this is, and they are more artistic type of people. So this is a very quick overall view uh, about uh, female and male uh, personality or image what we have. But remember, all these things are social construct from last many centuries, from thousands of years, from lot of decades that have been built, and that have been built as a reality we perceive now today. And that leads to love-hate relationship because of, it's like a pendulum. The pendulum oscillate here and there, and sometimes it extreme love, sometimes it extreme hate, sometimes less hate, sometimes less love, sometimes on a little bit neutral level. So we are oscillating here and there based on these identities, based on these things, and based on uh, these thoughts. So based on these all things, I have concluded to read a new text from the book The Power of Now. The Power of Now is a legend and master book in order to understand the gender differences and handling and finding the real cause uh, of love-hate relationships, and to how we can cure it, how we can understand better what the female is, how we can understand as a man that we need to wipe our wrong thoughts about women, and we need to build a new sense of identity of the ladies. The same thing, the ladies or women, they also needs to understand who they are actually, and why they are building their sense of feminine identity more nowadays, and that is creating a huge gap when they interact with other gender nowadays. And because of this gap, that is motivating uh, to have more trends and uh, attitude to develop campaigns of rights of being gay and rights of being lesbians in societies overall, talking about, because of the gap between women and men are becoming huge, and both are seems to be right at their place. At the same time, they seem to be wrong as well. But The problem is who will take the step to overcome that gap, how we can understand each other better so that we can build a great society, a great family. So, therefore, I decided to learn from the chapter number 8 in the book, The Power of Now. And we will specifically read the love hate relationship, and we will try to understand why this thing is happening. So far, before we start to reading, do you have any question or thought about what we just discussed? Okay, so let's start to read it, and I would request Jenny if she can start reading, please.
Love-hate relationships. Unless and until you assess the consciousness frequency of presence, all relationships, and particularly intimate relationships, are deeply flawed and ultimately dysfunctional. They may seem perfect for a while, such as when you are in love, but invariably that apparent of perfection gets disrupted as arguments, conflicts, dissatisfaction, and emotional or even physical violence occur with increasing frequency. It seems that most love relationships become love-hate relationships before long. Love can then turn into savage attack, feelings of hostility, or complete withdrawal of affection at the flick of a switch. This is considered normal.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So you see, it's a very up to mark and very um, uh, real reflection of what is going on between two gender nowadays. Uh, Not only in marriage relationship, but also before marriage or in any type of relationship without marriage as well, as a boyfriend or girlfriend. This is extremely relevant as well. And this conflict and dissatisfaction is it's like just pendulum, and you have breakup, then again you meet again, and then break up, and then again meet up, and it's going on, and we accept it. We say that's absolutely normal. That's a part of life. That's how we have been trained. How I know this is happened, but actually it's not. The reality is beyond from this. Actually, our ego mind and our own modern, uncontrolling, uh, uncontrolled flow of thoughts have made us to build this ego mind, that ego needs to be stand on something which you think, and you need to feel that the other person or other gender is not right, and that stand will give you power, that stand will give you life. But actually the opposite is true, because more we will tend to listen or follow my ego mind, more that gap, or more I will become irrational, more I will become uh, not spiritual, and more I will have hate or unloving person as well. So if you see a lot of arrogant people, what make them arrogant? Usually the arrogant people, they have extremely hate or anger against someone, and they build their own uh, sense of self, and they feel that they are more superior, and that superioritical factor may should make them arrogant, because they feel, I feel that other people are inferior because of many reasons. So that sense of superiority is actually your more stronger ego. And once you become more humble, once you feel down to earth, then you start to love other, because you equate the opposite sex opposite person on the same level, uh, or even you think that they are more superior to me because they have so many great qualities than me. So on this humblistic approach, you I mean take your relationship into different level. But that thing is not normal in our life. That does not teach by my Hollywood movies. That does not teach by my parents or my school teacher or my literature or my fictitious novels. They don't teach these type of things, and therefore it's a flaw, it's a gap, and that will never be fulfilled until I understand it. I will have awareness about this, and then I know how to work on it slowly until I become master of my life. Uh, so that's turned into, I mean, like a pendulum. And like I said already, that it looks very normal, but actually it's not normal. So this is the next line from the book, from that chapter. Is saying that the relationship then oscillates for a while and few months or a few years between polarities of love and hate, and it gives you as much pleasure as it gives you pain. uh, and it's very painful actually. Even when you are in love with your partner and something happens badly for something, suddenly one thought, negative thought came, and other person uh, expectations or hope will be will be destroyed by your simple thought of negative thought, and then again the hate start to come. Hate is between you and me. Now the problem is, are you really in true love? Because if you are in true love with your partner, then hate cannot come. Why hate is coming every time? On because of one thought of other person, if he or she is offensive against you, or you feel that you are offensive against him, and you turn your love into hate. Why this is happening? This is a question as well. That are we really in serious love? Are we really in true love with my partner, with my boyfriend, with my girlfriend, with my wife, with my husband? Because it turns a switch to another one very easily, and because it turns is so easily, then it turns into this cycle, turn leads to a destruction, and both start to not only fight, but it turn into physical violence, it turn into domestic violence, and uh, and that's very I mean problem, alarming for societies everywhere. So let's have a look quickly on this paragraph, quick paragraph. I would ask Mike if you can read it. Mike, are you able to read it? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It is not uncommon for couples to become addicted to those cycles. Their drama makes them feel alive. When a balance between the positive, negative polarities is lost, and the negative, destructive cycles occur with increasing frequency and intensity, which tends to happen sooner or later, then it will not be long before the relationship finally collapses.
Thank you. Yeah, you carry on for next one as well.
It may appear that if you could only eliminate the negative or destructive cycles, then all would be well and the relationship would flower beautifully. But alas, this is not possible. The polarities are mutually interdependent. You cannot have one without the other.
Thank you. Now here the Eckhart Tolle, the author of the book, he's making up a very valid point. And what that point is, he's saying that when you don't have a balance of positive or negative feelings against each other, then obviously many times negative will influence on you and that turn into hate. And when the positive is more influencing, then the relationship is in love. And important thing is saying that both are I mean in the cycle, and he say this drama, the drama makes them feel alive. And that's we actually think that the reality is every husband and wife, or as every gender differences, opposite gender, they fight with each other, and that's a quite normal. But the point main here he is there, that even if you are purely in love with your partner, still there is a opposite negative aspect will be under plus as well, because the plus point or plus love cannot be established without negative, and with a negative or hate cannot be established without positive. So both are both cannot live without each other. That's why hate and love comes um, every time, every week, every month, in a different form by triggering something. And the trigger could be anything. uh, Trigger could be the past event, or bad past event between husband and wife, or couple, or boyfriend girlfriend. The trigger could be they see a situation where both interpret each other very differently and with angrily, and both become annoyed, and that make them break up as well. um, so it could be any cause that why their relationship broke up, and then again they meet, and then again it happens. So until it goes to uh, and turn into like a proper electric wire, or with a positive terminal and a negative terminal, and it uh, uh, it goes. So let's try to read it. The another aspect of we also call it romantic relationship as well in our world. And what does it mean by romantic relationship according to Eckhart Tolle? So I would ask Javeria if you can read it.
Yes, the positive already contained within itself the as yet unmanifested negative. Both are in fact different aspects of the same uh, defin- de- 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 definition. I am speaking here of what is commonly called romantic relationship, not of true love, which has no opposite because it arises from beyond the mind. The love as the continuous state is as yet why rare conscious human beings derive and elusive glimpses of love, however, are possible whenever there is a gap in the stream of mind.
Thank you. It's a great reading. Thank you. So there is a romantic relationship, what we call in our society, in our everyday life, which is entirely different of no true love, because Eckhart Tolle is saying that the true love is the love which does not have opposite, in which there is no hate, there is no anger, there is no any negative energy start to appear, because it arises beyond the mind. So it is a very important one point which I want to discuss here, that when we love with my wife, with my husband, with my girlfriend, with my boyfriend, with my colleague, with my any relationship, then we actually make rationalize or give reason with help of my mind that why I should love with them, because the rationality of the mind is very limited thing. And when you come across with the new situation or unforeseen situation, then this rational thinking does not fit there, or does not justify the situation. Then here the collapse or hate start to come, because you don't have any rational thing. And then often you behave or you speak very irrational words, sentences, or action as well, you do as well. And therefore you break the relationship. However, if you don't think, or you are in love beyond mind, like without any rational thought, why I love my children, why I love my husband, why I love my wife, without any rational thing, then this love is a true love. And then that love cannot be destroyed or cannot be turned into hate. That is an important point. The love through consciousness is very rare, and that is our ultimate true love. The love which we do with our mind, with our rational thought, with our reasons. Few reasons, 1, 2, 3, 5 reasons, 10 reasons. But when these reasons finish, it turns into hate. It turns into separation. It turns into divorce. It turns into, long or in destruction. So that's he is pointing out as well. And then eventually we start to blame you. You are the main cause. You did this. You are the responsible to break this relationship. And because of the gender biasness, both raise the finger on each other. The negative side of a relationship is, of course, more easily recognizable as dysfunctional than the positive one. And it is also easier to recognize the source of negativity in your partner than to see it in yourself. And that we know already. It is self-explanatory that even though there will be many negative things about the situation within me, but I will still blame to my wife. You did, and I'm an innocent. You are the person you doing. So you are not recognizing the negativity within yourself, but you are identifying and you are criticizing your partner for this thing as well. So that's the main thing which we do as well. And that, it turns and it shows through my emotion, my physical language into the different thing. Number one is a possessiveness. Number two, jealousy. Number two, controlling the partner. Number two, withdrawing the emotions from them. Unspoken resentment, insensitivity, self-absorption, and manipulation, criticizing, judging, blaming, attack, anger, unconscious revenge. Even we start to revenge each other. Husband and wife take the revenge from each other. And even children take the revenge from parents. Parents take the revenge from children. And obviously that leads to violence as well. Sometimes it is very, very abusive, and that also leads into very brutal harassment as well. So that's the love relationship is going on. However, now there is a good news. When you loving with anyone beyond mind, with consciousness, then what happens? Let's start to read. So if Jenny, you start to read it, please. Hi, Jenny, you there? Okay, Mike, if you can read it. Okay, Jen is come. Thank you.
I ran up and got a coffee. On the
No problem.
positive side, you are in love with your partner. This is at first a deeply satisfying state. You feel intensely alive. Your existence has suddenly become meaningful because someone needs you, wants you, and makes you feel special. And you do the same for him or her. When you are together, you feel whole. The feeling can become so intense that the rest of the world fades into insignificance.
Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, that is a positive side, which is a true side about your partner, about love, about friendship, about feeling your own within a partner, and your partner is feeling herself or himself from within you. And that's a celebration. That is a time of unity. That is a time when there is no female and when there is no man. Only person, only two souls are meeting, only two souls are living, and there is only love relationship. There is no hate because both are not loving each other with mind. Both are not loving with each other with brain, but beyond mind, with conscious, with soul, with unconditional love. That's the thing which we are looking for to avoid these gender differences. Otherwise, what happens? The one spouse will try to possess other, that you are mine only. You cannot share your thought, your body. You cannot share anything other than to me. And that is done by force. And that force turned into violence. So let's start to read it. Why this is happening? So if yeah, so Mike, if you can read it.
However, you may also have noticed that there is a neediness and clinging quality to that intensity. You become addicted to the other person. He or she acts on you like a drug. You are on a high when the drug is available, but even the possibility or the thought that he or she might no longer be there for you can lead to jealousy, possessiveness, attempts at manipulation through emotional blackmail, blaming and accusing, fear of loss.
Yeah, thank you. So that's all things we have already discussed about this manipulation, possessiveness, and that's very common in our societies, especially when our relationship turn as an abusive relationship, when we are stuck in our life and when our body, mind, heart, spirit are not in aligned, and that's all things happen. And there is the last thing which happen. One of the spouse which feel victim, he or she tries to stop the other, not to leave me, not to abuse me, not to go for divorce, and it is not to reject me. That is a more important, not to reject me. So that rejection actually is a very painful thing. And the husband and wife or girlfriend or boyfriend who are in these things, they are actually in in a great grief. This thing. So Javeria, if you can read it, this last thing.
Yeah. If the other person does leave you, this can give rise to the most intense hostility or the most profound grief and disappear in an instant. Loving tenderness can turn into a savage attack or dreadful grief. Where is the love now? can you change into the option in an instant? Was it love in the first place or just an addictive grasping and clinging?
Thank you, Javaria. So, if you see here the Eckhart Tolle, the author, he is referring the husband-wife or girlfriend and boyfriend relationship as a addictive relationship. That is a term he is using. That we are not in love relationship. We have a relationship because of our addiction. We have addicted with each other, and that addiction is a negative term. And we that's why when our relationship is in addiction of each other, then obviously we will try to possess, we will try to grab each other by force, by ordering, by controlling, by manipulation, by making conspiracy, by hidden agendas, by mourning, and a lot of things as well. Now he is pointing out, where is love now? If you believe that you love your wife or you love your husband, and now you are against your husband, now against your wife, now where is the love now? Why it has turned into hate? So he is actually awakening, he's giving awakening call. And the Eckhart Tolle is saying that actually you never loved with your husband, you never loved with your wife, you never loved with your friend, because you loved with your partner because of mind and ego mind, because of one, two, three, four reason. Therefore, when these reasons will finish or these reasons become weaker, then that turn into hate, and that turn into a very conditional love. And obviously the other people, they don't like conditions to love, and it will end with breakup, and your body will turn into pain body, your body will turn into very very hormonal changed body. um, your mind will be in anxiety, in depression. You will have suicide thought because of fear of failure, because of fear of being rejected, because of many reasons. And then obviously your whole soul will be shattered. And if you do not have awareness of this, then you cannot be stand again. You will be addicted with drugs and stuff, or other addiction as well, and that will go, this cycle will go. So this is the general overview about love hate relationship. um, and I have just pointed out why this love and hate relationship we experiencing, or we will experience, or we have experienced. Um, you can put the comment below as well if you are watching this recording, and you tell why. I mean, how much you are agree, or if you want to add any other aspect of love hate relationship, then comment below as well. And for my audience, if you have any question, uh, let me know. Otherwise, the next we will continue this next episode with other key questions, and we will try to answer as well. And like the next episode questions will be in gender, uh, and husband wife or love hate relationship. The next question would be, why should we become addicted to another person? Why I become addicted to wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend? That we will try to answer. Can we change our addictive relationship to the true one? That we will try to answer, and why and how. How we define the true love? What does it mean by true love? We will also explore, my partner is still acting out his old pattern of jealousy and control. I have pointed this out many times, but he is unable to see it. That is a question which is Eckhart Tolle has answered. We will try to figure out also what he has answered. Also, why women are closer to enlightenment, which is surprisingly a very good question. Because in our uh, media, we often see that men are in uh, self improvement industry are more, and less and few ladies and women are in this field, in spiritual field. But actually the opposite is true. Women are more closer to enlightenment, and why, we will try to find out. Also, we will try to answer in next episodes, couple of next episode, why women have more pain body as obstacle in enlightenment process. Because you know that the woman body is little different nowadays than a man, because women have menstrual cycle as well, which are painful for many ladies and women as well, and that are they really hindrance or obstacle in ladies spiritual or mental development, or is it's only a myth? We will try to find this question as well. Would a woman still feel incomplete without a man? Which and the same thing, would a man feel withdraw to a woman? Um, so we will try to answer that man can live without woman or woman can live without man. What is true, other than what we know from our society or what we have been taught or trained by my society. Also, is important that the being a gay uh, a help or hindrance in making a difference or living a quality life as well. Because the gay relationship also in our societies as well, and even is openly or hiddenly. We will try to learn that what type of that relationship when we have same sex marriages as well, we have same sex relationship as well, and then how the love hate relationship apply on them. That is a very key question, and we will try to ans- answer. Last but not the least, before I have fulfilling relationship with another person, I need to have a good relationship with myself. Is that true? It's a very famous thought. We say, before you become a better wife, become a best husband. Try to build your relationship with your own self first. If you are not honest with yourself, if you are not real from your own self, you cannot be real with the other person. You cannot build a positive relationship, genuine relationship with other. We will also try to find this answer, what the Eckhart Tolle is saying, and some of my caption and commentary I will be doing as well for this question as well. So yeah. So next, if you guys uh, are happy that I will continue this episode in I mean part two, the same, or uh, will that be fine with you?
Are you talking about next week?
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah, this sounds really good, Maratib.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted
I'm
to ask,
enjoying it too.
Okay.
based on this class, I think it's a wonderful opportunity that when we see like an insecurity coming out in the person that we love, that it's a chance to get to know each other on a better level, where whatever's been activated in them, there's a root to something behind it, and that we can talk to them about that and care about them about that, and relax them about that. Because if you're really not going anywhere and somebody's being insecure, then is it is it a parent that left them, or what is it? And then try to help them and maybe even grow from it, because initially that negative response is bad, but sometimes they don't realize that you're not even the one that caused it.
Yeah.
Like you could understand better over their reaction, or maybe of course the reaction of yourself as well.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we will explore it in the next classes as well. This is like I already explained that this is the topic which is extremely concerned with everyone, with me, with because we come across as a gender biases or prejudice, or without prejudice, um, every time, every moment, home, in society, in office, everywhere. So until we do not have awareness what this is about, and more important, what is true, what is absolute truth about these things, we cannot get great relationship. Otherwise, we will be pendulum and we will be oscillating between one extreme to another extreme, and that we think that this is a life and how I have been born for. So, thank you. We will continue for next part 2, and try to learn the other questions from Eckhart Tolle's point of view. Mike, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying I got a lot out of it, and would like to hear more.
Sure.
This is an issue that I think affects everyone, and to have a better understanding of what's really going on in the mind. I think everyone would love to have better relationships.
Mm, mm. Yeah, absolutely. So, let me see if somebody has put anything on Facebook. I can't read. Maybe it's I'm on the mobile screen recording from Facebook. That's okay. I think let's meet up next Sunday again for part 2 with more positive facts and reading. I will bring it, and let's try to understand uh, and help ourselves to managing our life betterly as regard the gender differences, which I have or I have been taught and trained by my society or myself as well. So thank you very much. Click down below if you have question. You can comment there. You can forward to your friend and family. These are the free classes we do every Sunday, 1 p.m. UK local time. And I hopefully see you next week, next Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, Maratib. See you next week.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Recording